Afternoon YouTube, Mr. Mo here. Welcome back. Long time no see. What I've got for you today is the completed bug out bag that I spoke about in my last video. What I want to do today is go through the contents of the bag, the way I've loaded it up, and indeed today what I'm going to do, rather than just a show and tell, I've come out into the woods, and what I'm going to do today is basically demonstrate some of those items that's in the bag, so you can see how that, in theory, how that would bolt together. I'm wearing a big woolen smock today. When it gets close to the winter time here in Scotland, in the back of the car I would keep this along with some other tools. So the reality is, if I was ever to use this bug out bag, I would probably have this with me in the car. So it's very comfortable. It's made of wool. It was a friend's mum that made it for me. So yeah, this is quite a good bit of kit to keep in a vehicle, along with any bug out bag that you have, including the waterproof rain jacket as well, especially here in Scotland. So anyway, without further ado, let me readjust the camera, focus in on this bag, and then we will crack right into what I've managed to do with it over time. Right guys, so if you remember and think back to the last video when I basically just showed you the bag and I described the items that I was going to put in here. I put in some sort of everyday household items that we might have lying around to give you an idea of the size. So the video today is really just what I've done with the bag and how we're going to use it. And we're going to start off right here. So on the strap you can see it did indeed come with a little Magforce tie, which is round there, and on the outside I've managed to find a nice little sleeve here for a survival mirror. It saves it being in a bag. If you are going to be in a survival situation, then a mirror is something that you would want to have close at hand, and that's why I've put it there. And to prevent it from falling out, I just seal it with that little Velcro piece there. And I wanted to get that out of the way first, because knowing me, I'd probably forget it. So next up, what I've done with the bag, as you can see here, I've done some Cobra stitch. This paracord that I've used is the one that has the fire coil on the inside, so multiple uses there. I can easily take it off if I need cordage. I've also swapped the zips out, so they've got the larger finger pull ones here on it. And on the front, you can see here I have a krill lamp. So basically when it's dark at night you can have this on and it's easy to locate your bag. And also if you go out, we are kind of in the darkest, well, we're in a little fire break here, but to behind me I'm in a lot of pine forest, and just over the wall there is large bits of beech, but I don't want to be camping out in that, for the obvious reasons that beech is known as widowmakers. They quite often shred big branches, and if they come down and hit you in the middle of the night, that's it, end X. But it is a handy resource to have, access to loads and loads of leaf litter and decent firewood for the night. Okay, going round the bag again, like I said, when I go over there to collect firewood, it would be very easy to get lost in here, especially if there's not a fire lit. So again, krill lamp on, hang the bag on a tree, and that will give you the marker to be able to find your way back to camp, no problem. Because in reality you wouldn't be going any further than 100 metres or so from your camp anyway, if you were in that situation. So krill lamp there, that's what that's for. I have a little glow marker here, and this is handy as well, so you can take that off and use it for different applications if you wish. And that's pretty much the modifications that I've made to the bag on the outside. So let me once again readjust my position, so I'll kneel down so I can take the stuff out of the bag a little bit easier and show you what is in there. Okay guys, brilliant. So readjusted the camera, and that way you can get a much better view of what's going on in here. So simply going to start at the front. I have this out pouch, just a Velcro sticker there, and this is for some first aid items that you can get your hands onto if you need them real quick. So we'll start off, I have Celix granules in there for any major trauma. And I've also in here put in a pair of spare laces. If you're going to be off in the woods or you find yourself in a survival situation, there is a real possibility that you may have to walk yourself out of that. If that's the case, one of the best things you can have is a pair of spare laces. Believe me, if your laces break when you're outside, it can be pretty miserable if it's a long walk out. So that's why they're in there. And there is nothing else in that pouch. Zip pocket, sorry. Go ahead and open this now and open it up. You'll see various items in here, and I'm not going to go through absolutely every item because I've done it in previous videos, and most of the stuff in here you've probably already seen. But we have some burn gels, some plasters, some wound closure strips in there, in this front pocket, and then behind it we have duct tape wrapped around a little bit of plastic. We also have 3 small vials. So this one is TCP, which is basically an antiseptic. This one here is potassium permanganate, so very useful for, you can purify water, you can light fires, it's great for signal marking. It's basically got multiple uses. And then in there I have some codeine, so if you should get a mechanical injury of some description, you can take the pain off it, like I said, especially if you have to walk out of that situation. There is a zip pocket, let me just burrow that round and show you. There's a zip pocket on the inside there, and again inside there actually I have an old passport photo, so it's a means of ID. I'm not going to show you it because obviously it'll have details on it that I don't particularly want to show on YouTube. But you know, should the worst case scenario happen and they have to find you, then at least they can ID you. Makes life easier for them. Bar of soap from my trip to Berlin last year. Was it last year? Could have been 2 years ago. But anyway, little bar of soap, handy to have, nice to do some hygiene. Now, I do have some oral suspension morphine, and I know I'm going to get a lot of comments about, oh, that's illegal, blah blah blah. That was prescribed to me. There is reasons why I had that for those who are regular to the channel. So before you go diving in on the comments and starting the normal, oh, you can't have that morphine, there's a reason why I've got it, and it is prescribed to me. Also have some codeines, paracetamols, yep, they're paracetamols, and then Compede, okay? One of the biggest things that you'll find, like I said, if you are in that situation and you have to walk out, your feet is a must, so you've got to keep them clean, hence the little bar of soap. Keep them clean, keep them dry, and if need be, if you get blisters, address that. The laces, keep your boots, keep your feet. If that's your only means of transport, you want to look after them. What else have we got in there? I see something. I have a little pair of tweezers in there, and then I have a tough cloth. So again, this is just some maintenance for my knife and Imodium. Yeah, if you've got to plug the hole, you've got to plug the hole. That's all I'll say on that. And basically that is all I have in this, what I call the ouch pouch. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Let's make sure I am still in frame. Yep, in the front here I have a compass. Okay, so it's a Sunto compass. It's the one that's globally balanced, and again it has the mirror and that on it, so it's very handy for multiple situations. I'm sure there's a good video on YouTube that can teach you how to use that compass. It is new, it's not one I've had before, but I did fancy it for this pack, so yeah, that's why it's in there. It's pretty much a new bit of kit, and I'll have some fun playing around with that later on. Okay, moving on. In the back pocket here, zipper pocket, have a whistle. And the whistle is basically on a quick release Velcro, because this is all hook and loop in the back there. So if you need to get attention, you've got that. And then you can see in here, I have tearaway pouch in here by Maxpedition. Again, I've put the big handles on so it's easy to get in, and this is my fire kit. Basically some Tampax, so they're waterproof cotton wools, a little bit of Vaseline. I have a main windproof lighter here, some rubber, a fire steel, and different items in there that can all aid in lighting a fire. Again, I'm not going to pull that out because most of you guys will have seen all of those things before, but we will use it a bit later on to light a fire. So I can just kind of go through this and then actually show you some of these things in action. So zip that up, and that is it for the two main pockets on the outside of the pack. So moving, I'll just clear the decks here, guys. Yep. Moving forward, we have this zipper pocket here. I can open that up and got quite a lot of stuff, like proper stuff in here. So we start off, I have a spoon, and we'll use that later on. I have a Nightcore EDC torch, which off the top of my head I can't remember how many lumens it is, but it's very bright, and it has different modes. If you're interested in this torch, again, this is something that I may review in another video if you guys are telling me that's what you'd like to see. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see that reviewed. I also have Quick Frontier water filter straw, so if you need to drink water on the move, at least you've got something to do it with. Behind that, I have the Millbank bag in here, and the reason it looks like that is because inside of the Millbank bag I have a small grate. So if you're lucky enough to get a bit of game or a bit of meat, that can go in the fire and you can cook that up for yourself quite easy. What else have I got in here? I have these hand warmers. I wasn't sure. I'd heard some good reviews from people basically saying that, but again, if you are in a survival situation, it's vital that you keep those organs, interior organs, well. So this is the kind of thing that you can simply break open, basically activate them, and then hold them in your chest pockets in your shirt or whatever clothing you've got on, and that again is going to help keep your core temperature if you're having to be outside in all sorts of weather. Okay, and that is all that is in this zipped pocket. And again, I will move that out the way so we can continue. Okay, now we have the main pocket at the back here. So let me open that up. And again, you can see that is completely stuffed full. I have a foldable cup for a coffee. This here is, let me take that out. So it's in a cardboard sleeve toilet roll holder, so fire lighting again. But one of the main reasons I have this is this great big bag here is a really lightweight Sea Summit bag, dry bag, so if necessary, basically the whole pack can be fit inside there. If you say, for example, you had no choice but to do a river crossing, then you could take this pack and whatever footwear you were wearing and your socks and get them in there, so when you get to the other side, at least you've got something dry on your feet. So that's that. Next up in here, let me just open this up. We have a pet salt emergency head torch. So although I have the EDC 27 flashlight there, which gives off a massive amount of lumens, this one here, a head torch is an excellent bit of kit, because at some point you need hands-free, and it does indeed have a little whistle on it. It has different modes, SOS, strobe, etc, and there's a couple of spare batteries in there as well. So that is a great bit of kit to have. Moving on, I have this little Coca-Cola pouch from years ago, and inside here, guys, if I open it up, this is what I like to call the placebo fishing kits. Different weights, lures, there's some arrowheads in there, different fishing lines, all sorts of good stuff that you can have. There's snares in here, indeed. There we go, there's a whole, I think there's about 10 snares in there, safety pins, etc. And then I have a little housewife here with some needles and threads and things in there. I'll put that back in there because I'll end up losing it. So I thought this was quite a good idea. And then indeed you have your little tin there as well. So that's what that is. And then we have a little Ranger band there, just in case the zip fails. So that's in that. We then in here have another pouch, and here I have a battery bank, which is currently, it's telling me it's 84. It's been in there for a few weeks now, and I have a USB-C cable because the light, the torch, is rechargeable, and indeed you would want to keep your cell phone powered. So that is in there. Next up, you've probably seen this. This is the American lightweight tarp. I've had this for a very, very long time. It's an excellent bit of kit, and you'll see we'll do something with that later on. We might not have to, but I'll show you that in action. Here, so inside here we have I can't remember the name of it, brain freeze. I'll put a link up so you can see that. It's one of those lightweight bivvy bags, basically. Heat shield, I can't remember. I'll put a link up and you'll see that there. This is the better one. It has a zip in it, so yeah, and we'll see that. I'll set that up for you so you get a look. And then what else I have inside here is the bot. So this is a titanium pouch. And you can see, guys, that is that pouch completely empty there. So basically everything is out of the bag, although, oh no, it's not. Oh wow, I forgot about the pocket. The bot, let's do this. Inside here, let me come down. Inside here, have some drinks, hot drinks, Malteser hot chocolate. I have a pepperoni sausage. I have a soup, chili chicken soup, and this is like a pot noodle thing. I also have couscous. So quite a lot of carbohydrates in there, quite a lot of energy. It's definitely going to get you through the night. Again, if you go back to one of my other videos, you can load that up as if for longer term, if you were thinking 72 hours or so. And therefore what I would do is I would load that up with the fats and the proteins rather than the carbohydrates, but that's a separate issue. So let me just kind of move that out to this side and come back, because I nearly forgot. Behind here we do have indeed another pouch. Can't believe I nearly forgot about that. Diamond file. So that would be along with the tough cloth sharpening stone, This is what I've been waiting on. This is the Don't Die in the Woods survival shelter, and I'm going to set that up so you guys can actually see it, along with this and various other bits and pieces that I've got in here, so you can see exactly the kind of stuff that you can put into a bag like this and keep in the back of your car. Don't die in the woods. Yeah, for sure. I have the pocket silky saw. It's the 130. And again, guys, like all my videos, I'll put the links up so you can see them. I also have the R2 Scout. This is again, this is a little locking mechanism on here. Yeah, I get that out. There you go. This is an excellent knife. It's really, really solid. So it's small but solid. It can do a lot of tasks. Sharpening stone for it. And you'll see quite a lot through a lot of the things I have, equipment wise. You'll see these little stickers on them, and these are glow in the dark. So if you do start losing stuff at night, you can hit it with the big flashlight, and it should be sufficient enough to flash up and show you where they are. And that's it for this one, but there is, however, one little compartment in here which I have. This was my original cheat sheets bivvy bag, so this is the older version of this basically, and I have always went on the assumption that if you are indeed in a survival situation, you need something to sleep on, which is this, and we're going to fill this with leaves, and I'll show you how that works a bit later on. So that is effectively going to become the mattress. You need something to sleep in, so now you've got your sleeping bag, so sleep on, sleep in, and indeed sleep under, or in this case you sleep in this as well, but where is the tarp? And then you can top all that off with the tarp. So if you find a good enough location and it's not going to be bad weather, you can leave that and set this up just as a shelter on your own, and then that way you can keep that at hand, because I've only got this woolen coat thing, smock, whatever you want to call it, on. So although it would still keep me warm if it was raining, I would then put the tarp on over there, the poncho, sorry, and that way I'm keeping myself fairly waterproof as well, okay? And again, this is the one I had, but again, you can buy these in all sorts of really bright colours. So if you need to, you've got access, you know, it will make you more visible in a proper survival situation. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed the contents in there, but I didn't want to just do a show and tell. I actually wanted to set it up because, again, this piece of kit here, along with the compass, I've actually not used them, so I'll be really interested to see what this is. This is the way it came in the post. I've done nothing to it. I want to see what it's like out of the pack. Okay, so for the rest of the video, guys, what I'll probably do is jump over and I'll do it on the GoPro, and then that way I'm not jumping around with a big video camera, and it'll give me some flexibility, but we'll see. But okay, give me 5, let me go and start setting up different things, and then I'll come back to you guys. Okay, cheers. Okay guys, so I had a little bit of a time lapse going on there. I had it out collecting I had the GoPro out collecting the leaf litter, but one of the batteries died, so there should still be enough to give you an idea or collection. The reality is I never overstuff the bag because there's lots of little twigs and things in there which will pierce it. I'm not overly concerned. So I've got this thing set up. It took me a little while to set it up, but it's not too bad. Let me show you inside if the camera doesn't freeze. I have, let me just say, so you can see we've got the mattress underneath now, so that's just something to sleep on, and this is just something to sleep under. Now it seems a little bit, the reality is I'm going to have to go and find some small stones to push the sides out, but I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad. Okay, but like I said, I've never used this before, so it's all new to me setting it up. It does seem fairly robust. I think with what I've done here, I think if I'd have tried to do that with the older one, I think I would have already torn it in half. So it does seem quite strong, but yeah, I'm going to have to pack it out a little bit more, I think, just with some stones, and that's fine because that forces me to stay on top of this old heat sheets with the leaves in it. Now what we need to do now is we need to go and purify some water for a brew, and we also need to get a little fire going so we can have some noodles. I think the reality today, it's not very good in here filming, it's quite dark, so what I'll do is I'll put the fire back up where I was doing the filming of the initial bag. But the reality is, if it was a real survival situation, you would have your fire as close to this as possible without putting it up on flames. Maybe just out the front there, just to try and get some of that heat brought back in here. But yeah, this seems actually pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, cool. Okay guys, so hopefully you can see me here. What we're going to do now is get ourselves some water. Now you'll notice I'm at the fastest part of this stream. Guys, had the mill bank up there. To begin with, it flows quite fast, but eventually it starts coming down into more of a drip. That's a good thing. That shows that all the fibres in the mill bank are starting to swell up, and the bag's actually starting to do the job and catch all those undesirables in there, protozoas and basically all the rest of the stuff that's floating about in the water. So you can see the shelter up in the background there. I actually thought it would have had little sort of tags to hold it out, but it doesn't. It's just basically like a triangle. It does have a reinforced bit at the top that goes on the guy line. That's fine. The reality is, when we get in there later on, basically I'm going to get the head down. Basically, it will be getting dark quite soon, which will present a challenge for the camera. So what I'll do is I will stick it into night vision at that point. I've got night vision on this camera, I'll stick it in there. Cool. Something really nice and therapeutic doing this I'm sure you agree. Okay. And what I'm trying to do here, guys, is just build that classic teepee to put some heat down the bottom there. That's all I want to do. And do you know, surprisingly, for the amount of rain that we've had in this area over the last, I'm going to say month, certainly feels like that. Surprisingly, a lot of these sticks are quite dry. Okay, so quick update. So millbank bag was done, dripping into that thing. That should be probably nearly ready to go, I guess. We'll just burn this fire down a little bit more, and then I'll come back and we'll be ready to cook up our well, whatever it is we decide to have. Okay, so I'll bring you back 5-10 minutes or so. Okay, thanks. Right, guys. Fire had died down a little bit, so I had to build it back up, but that water is absolutely boiling away, quite the thing. So we're just going to take that off now, and let's get this open. Yeah, that's in there. There we go. Chuck them in there, and just like I said, just be very careful if you've got these titanium pots. I had a titanium cup and I stupidly made a cup of coffee, and oh my god, I thought it was cold and I put the thing to my lips. The bloody thing nearly stuck to my lip. So yeah, the answer today is be warned. In fact, you're probably best not drinking from the titanium pot itself. It'll be fine with this because it's like a pot noodle type thing, but I do have the plastic cup, so I would highly suggest that once you've boiled your water, you pour that in the cup and have whatever you're having. So I think basically, guys, we'll have this. I'll take that off. Look how glowing hot that is. Fantastic. So actually a great bit of kit. No idea where it came from. Yeah, we'll have this, and then I think realistically at that point I'm going to walk down to the car with the vast majority of all my camera equipment. I'm going to lock it in the car for tonight, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to get in my sleeping bag because at that point it will be dark o'clock. I'll walk back with this camera that I've got here, or possibly my GoPro. In fact, I'll probably do this one because it will be dark by the time I get back. So I'll bring it back in its basic format, and then I can put that in night vision, and then we'll get cuddled up for the night. But I think the reality is the battery won't last that long, and I don't have any power stations or generators or anything like that with me today, so I won't be able to recharge them, but it'll be enough to see us off. And yeah, hopefully you're enjoying it so far. I mean, right now I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. There's no discomfort whatsoever. I'm toasty warm next to this fire. I know it's going to be cold tonight, that's for sure. It wasn't forecast for rain, but I never take that, or rather I take that with a pinch of salt. So I'm very, very careful about that. It will be cold tonight, that's for sure. And basically I will sleep, hopefully I'll sleep, but I'll probably only sleep about 4 or 5 hours, but to be honest I don't care. The reality is I'm only going to have this, the rest of it's going to be back in the car, bar what I've got there in the camera. So when I wake up in the morning, if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll probably just pack up and go at that point, because there probably won't be enough battery left to come back to you in the morning. But what we will do is, if you guys have had any questions or whatever about this video, then we can, or rather put them in the comments, and then I'll address them in the next one, because like I said, the next one will be in a tent, so it will be a far more comfier, better environment than what we are at the moment. So the handles are now fine. What I'm going to do is just drain off a little bit of the water as best as I can. Without losing my noodles. Yeah, and I know I'm going to get some caught. Yeah, you shouldn't do that next to your campfire. I know if you're in Canada or wherever, if there's bears, yeah, you wouldn't do this. Scotland, you know, we don't have anything like that here. The only animals that are running around here are deer. There's nothing dangerous in these woods at all. So, you know, you don't have to worry too much about this. Obviously, this would be a no-go thing if you were in some place where basically you can become the game. Just drain that off. Nice. I think just a tiny little bit more, and then we're good to go. There we go. Perfect. And then we'll get this curry sauce thing in the go. Maybe. There we go. And there we go, guys. Let me. You can, not how much you can see in there now, but yeah, that's good to go. Okay, so I'm going to have this now, guys. Yeah, let me just get down. So I'm going to have this now, guys, and then I'll get back to you soon. Cheers. Okay, guys, that's it. Basically, bedtime for me. I hope the battery's flashing, so I've only got a little bit of time left. So I'm going to love and leave you. It's a sol bivvy. Yeah, so I'm out. It's only about 8:30 at night actually, so I'll probably be up about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll definitely be up for a pee, I would imagine. But anyway, as soon as I wake up, I'm just going to get up, I'm going to pack up because the battery is going to go in this camera. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've learned something on this trip. Just shows you that a bag, even a small bag that you can keep in your car, it is possible, right? We're not talking comfort here, let's be honest. This is not going to be comfortable. I know it's not going to be comfortable, but it's not designed to be comfortable, it's designed to save your life. And this will do the job nicely, okay? So until the next video, I'll catch you soon. If you've got any questions that you want to ask about this, then please stick them in the comments and I'll address them in the next video. Okay, thanks very much. Catch you later, guys.